Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be dissertating and talking about illness, sickness in a natal chart. I'm going to be going about this in a somewhat unorthodox manner. I'm not going to be just saying the sixth house indicates health and possible health issues, etc., etc. I'm going to be dissertating about somebody's chart and showing examples in this chart itself that could signify certain health dilemmas this person may have physically and possibly maybe emotional issues as well. Well, let me get started. In this person's chart that I'm using, and I'm speaking anonymously with this, the first thing is that the person has Cancer rising or Cancer ascendant. And as a lot of you know, Cancer rising is not exactly known to have a robust or rugged constitution. I believe water signs, generally speaking, are more prone or susceptible to illnesses, debilitation, just in general. I think as far as just even like colds and things like that, than pretty much the other elements. And not only that, and the next thing I want to get at is that she also has Saturn conjunct the ascendant. Now, this Saturn conjunct the ascendant can often give a little more of a slender appearance than otherwise indicated. I've read in books over the years in my studying that it could diminish the constitution, physical constitution as well. It could maybe make the person a little smaller in stature than otherwise indicated. Obviously, if a person is a little bit lighter, then maybe it's hard to explain, but perhaps their recuperation may not always be the same as somebody that's a little bit, I guess you could say, healthier in stature. I mean, that's just my own, I guess, belief on this. Another thing is she has Mars conjunct the ascendant. Now, the Mars conjunct the ascendant can signify a fearless, aggressive nature, but at the same time yet often a combative and acrimonious one as well. And this could be somebody that may have difficulty in consistently being affable or amiable. And when you have anger, you have some anger elements in your chart, I believe it can lead to some kind of exasperation, inner turmoil, which could be maybe not by itself, but with contributing other factors or elements, could lead to some possible, emotional issues to some degree. I'm not saying everybody with Mars conjunct the ascendant is like this, but I'm going to be going on and talking about other things. The combination of all these things, I think this could attribute to this. Her part of sickness, which is an Arabic part, which is by taking the ascendant and Mars and subtracting Saturn, is in her first house conjunct the ascendant. Now, this is pretty strong, I think. This is basically, it doesn't always indicate that it's a debilitation, but the part of sickness, the house that it's in, could show where this person might have some general area of difficulties. Maybe this person, with the part of sickness being in Leo conjunct the first house cusp, maybe this person was too proud or is too proud to recognize her own failings and shortcomings, and maybe it can be her own undoing to some degree. And the fact that it's in the first house and conjunct the ascendant shows, to me, I think it can be literal to some degree, and it could indicate maybe somebody that has certain debilitation in their life, maybe stronger than the average person. Now, she also has Mars in Cancer conjunct Saturn in Cancer. Now, people with Mars in Cancer may have a tendency to internalize and suppress anger. The conjunction to Saturn really doesn't help matters. Pent-up anger can cause inner turmoil. Perhaps it has something to do with the frustration of maybe having a limited family existence because you have Saturn in Cancer there. This could be something where perhaps there is frustration from not attaining ambitions, and or perhaps not enough, or at all maybe for that matter. The moon is in the 6th house, and moon in the 6th house can have a propensity to worry, may have digestive difficulties. This person might have health issues, and may even possibly in some extreme cases have hypochondriac tendencies. Now also, this person has Sagittarius on the cusp of the 6th house. And people that have this placement, it seems like on the surface, okay, it's fortuitous, it's Sagittarius, this should bestow something positive for the person's health, but not always necessarily, because Sagittarius, like Jupiter, is about expansion. I think it's possible that when someone has the sign on the cusp of the 6th house in some cases, that this might actually enlarge or expand some health related matters. And this person, this is where I see his 6th house governing health, and Sagittarius being the sign that does everything on a large scale. It could indicate possible prodigious health issues. Now, also, the ruler of this 6th house, this person has in the 4th house, conjunct Neptune. And this tells me this person had constant allergy problem, syndrome. Health issues may confine the person to the home, and she was in the house for a while due to certain debilitations. The conjunction to Neptune may give greater susceptibility to reactions, perhaps from chemicals or things that would bring on allergies. She sneezed very incessantly. It seemed like she would always say she had a terrible cold or something. And the fact is, this conjunction to Neptune, she was an alcoholic for part of her life, and I think maybe the fact that this 6th house planet of health, conjunct in Neptune, maybe this is what that was, the alcohol problems, what attributed to it. She also has the moon opposite Mars, opposition Mars in her natal chart, and this could indicate possible turbulent, contentious relationships with others. Somebody that could be emotionally impulsive, impetuous, and impatient. Somebody that is just, says things maybe abruptly and reacts emotionally to things sometimes without thinking, which could cause animosity from others. And we have all this stuff with anger connected in someone's chart. It might not be the telling tale that's going to be the means for somebody to maybe have some mental issues or problems, but when you add up a lot of these things, it has maybe a greater chance of having these kind of issues than someone that has all these auspicious aspects in their chart connected with Moon and Mars or what have you. So the only other thing that I wanted to say before I end part 1 of this is that she also has not just the Cancer rising, but 29 degrees of Cancer rising. And when you have a lot of times, if you have something at the end of the sign, 29 degrees, it could often indicate ambiguity, ambivalence, indecisiveness, which I believe, when you have all this indecision, could cause more aggravation and exasperation in the person. She also has, when you look at 29 degrees, I've seen this predictively, but I haven't seen this during my research, but you may be able to apply this, in my opinion, natally. Some people that have 29 degrees in Sun, Moon, or Ascendant especially, I think it could signify the end of a period, and apply it to someone's life. Now, 29 degrees Cancer Ascendant, Cancer is connected with the home and family. So I look at her, and she's had somewhat, become somewhat dissident with family members, and her family life was not really great, to say the least, and it may not have ended completely her family life, but maybe her life has been such where it's been, her family situation has dissipated and has been less than the average person, I would think. So it's kind of like it was the end for a full, complete family life, maybe for this person during the course of her whole life, if you understand what I'm saying. So anyway, people, that will conclude this YouTube astrological segment for Illness in the Natal Chart, Part 1. And stay tuned next time, where I'll be dissertating and talking about Part 2 of Illness, Sickness in the Natal Chart. Two things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel, but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis on a person, astrologically speaking, based on this alone, because a person astrologically is the sum of all their components in their natal chart, and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.